Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Amelia Automotive and today we have the all-new Cupra Tavascan. Now this car has been described by Cupra as the new hero for the new era. So this is their first fully electric SUV. Now it is a coupe. This follows the success of the Cupra Born, which is basically the ID.3's cooler sibling. Now let's put this to the test and see if it really is mysterious and intimidating as Cupra says. Let's have a look around it. So I think we've already established they've called this car mysterious and intimidating, but they've also said they've taken some inspiration from the racetrack. Now I can definitely see this in the design, although you wouldn't have an SUV on a racetrack normally, would you? So we have these cool indents, which is very racetrack inspired, and we also have triangle LED and matrix headlights, which reflect the Cupra badge, which we have a very large Cupra badge right here. We also have Cupra written, which almost looks like it's floating. Now what I really like about this car is the fact that it doesn't necessarily scream I'm an electric car. It looks familiar, it looks sporty, and I really like the look of it. So let's talk about the wheels. We get 3 different options depending on the trim level, which we'll go into later. So you get between 19 and 21 inches. These are 21 inches and I really like the look of them. Now I can't imagine how impactful they'd look with 19 inches. I think an SUV needs to have bigger wheels. Let me know in the comments what you think. Right, so onto the rear of the car, and I must say I don't think it's as mysterious and intimidating as the front. I feel like it's quite stubby. It's very angular, but I don't feel like it flows very well. Now the light design continues at the rear with the triangle LED matrix. You also have the Cupra badge, which is lit up, which Volkswagen Group are doing quite a lot of at the moment. We have Cupra written here, which I think is slightly too big for my liking. And we also have this diffuser, which I really like. It's very sporty. One thing I don't like is the fact that we don't have a back windscreen wiper. What's that all about, guys? As it's an SUV, obviously practicality with boot space is very important. Now obviously we've got the sloping roof here, so if you have a dog it might be slightly squashed. Now Tish and I, Auto Social, have come from London and we have literally packed this boot full of 2 small suitcases and also lots of luggage, and it's fit perfectly. I'd say this is a decent sized boot. So onto the interior. Now this place is very futuristic. So at the centre of the whole interior we have the central spine, otherwise known as the wishbone by Auto Social. And I do really like it, although the material is a bit cheap and a bit scratchy. It's kind of like a snake effect here. I do quite like it. But I just wish the quality in here was a bit better. Although the seats are really nice, and I will say they are high quality and they are recycled. Now you can get cup leather seats and I will be intrigued to see them as well. So just when I thought screens couldn't get any bigger, Cupra only went and made a 15-inch touchscreen. Now this is the biggest screen they've ever created. And when it's too big, because this is huge and it's basically like having a laptop open, isn't it? Comment down below and let me know what you think. However, the system as a whole has had some major upgrades. It's got a human-machine interface which makes the whole infotainment screen much more customizable, and it's quite easy to use and not too laggy, you'll be glad to hear. So unfortunately we don't have physical buttons here, but the touch bars are actually quite good and they are very sensitive. Now what I do like is the high and low has this nice feature where it sort of flows, and I will also say they've claimed that the air vents are some of the narrowest on the market. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's pretty cool to be honest. So on to the most important thing, the steering wheel. And Cupra do steering wheels very well. Something they've always done well is styling. This car is bursting with character and styling. We do have haptic buttons, unfortunately, which may be a good thing for some, may not for others. The only annoying thing is when you're driving, if you're sort of in this position, you do accidentally press the buttons or turn the audio up, which could be quite annoying for the rear passengers. Now it's something you'd get used to, but it is still a bit annoying. We have the classic Cupra button here, which puts it into Cupra mode, which unlocks its full potential. And we also have the drive modes here, which are very easy to use. Now we do have a lot more drive modes than usual, which is interesting. And also we have this little screen here, which isn't my favourite, and it kind of reminds me of one of those sat-navs you used to just stick on the windows. Now that's my personal preference. As a whole, I quite like this interior, but it's definitely personal taste. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of the interior? Okay, so onto the rear. Now it's very spacious in here. Normally with the coupe you feel sort of quite trapped with the sloping roof. However, I'm 5'9" and I'd say there's enough room for me, definitely for kids. Now I will say I feel like the seats might not be that practical for kids because of these little holes and this sort of suede material. It might not be the most hard wearing material. We have 2 USB-C chargers and we also have heated seats in the back of this one. We have the gold theme that runs throughout and also the mood lighting, which I'll show you when it's night time. Now, one thing that Cupra's done well with this car is the fact that there's a lot of storage. So we have the 3 2.5 cup holders, you could say, here. We've got the door pockets, and I tell you what, we also have this absolutely huge glove box, which I can get my arm all the way into. That is super practical for if you have kids. I also like this massive pan roof, which unfortunately you can't open because I think opening something with glass that big would be a bit dangerous. But nice and light in here makes it a bit less claustrophobic with it being a coupe.
So there'll be 2 options with this car, a rear-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive, and both cars come with a 77 kilowatt-hour battery, giving it the charging ability to charge from 10 to 80% in under 30 minutes. Both cars sit on VW's MEB platform with Cupra's DNA throughout. The rear-wheel drive version has a 210 kilowatt battery with 286 PS and a range of 353 miles, with an impressive 0 to 62 time in just 6.8 seconds. Although this engine is well equipped for daily driving, its entry-level interior isn't the best. You have to add on a lot for it to be as nice as this one. It doesn't come with ambient lighting or heated seats, but it can all be added with packs. Now we know this model starts from £47,300, which is very expensive. When the price for the VZ all-wheel drive is announced, that will be very interesting because it seems to be the one to go for. With this, you get a 250 kilowatt-hour battery, 340 PS, with a range of 324 miles, so you're not losing that many compared to the entry-level car, otherwise known as the rear-wheel drive. So what's the 0 to 62? This is 5.5 seconds, which I think is impressive. So you get the immersive pack as standard, so you get the upgraded sound system, a dark night interior and ambient lighting, which looks incredible at night, as you can see here. The VZ is a dual motor all-wheel drive, sending up to 30% of the power to the front wheels, delivering maximum performance with traction. So how does the car drive? Now it's heavy, it weighs 2.2 tonnes, but it doesn't necessarily feel heavy when you're driving it. With dynamic chassis control, sports suspension and progressive steering, you feel in control of the vehicle, you feel like you're the one driving. I will say the only negative is the brakes are a little bit strange, they're a little bit spongy and not as sharp as I'd like, especially for a car that's all about performance. Now in terms of regen braking, you get 3 different modes on flappy paddles, and then you get B on the gear selector, which is essentially mode 4, taking it up a level. We'll say a heat pump is optional in this car, with heated rear seats and a heated windscreen also being optional. Comparing this car to the Skoda Enyaq VRS, this is much more focused on performance. It's really nice to drive. I don't think this car will be for everyone, but I think that's what Cupra want. This car stands out, it's different, it focuses on performance and it looks amazing.
Right, so final thoughts on the Tavascan. It definitely looks mischievous and it's got the performance. However, if you're looking for an all-rounder, for me, I would rather go for the Skoda Enyaq VRS. I feel like with this, Cupra focused too much on performance and not enough on quality of the interior. So if performance is your thing, this car would definitely be for you. I would encourage you to look at the Skoda Enyaq as well, as I think it's a pretty strong competitor. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you comment, like and subscribe and all that shebang, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.